Hey, hello everyone, this is Dante Arjona, co-founder of Manacor Game Studios. I'm joined today by my brother and co-founder of Manacor Game Studios as well, Daniel Arjona, who is also the author of Utopia, Birth of the Heroes. So today we wanted to do something a little different than, just showing you a trailer of the game. We wanted to have a conversation with you, tell you all about why Utopia exists, what is it that we wanted to achieve with this game, and really what is the experience that we want you to have with it. So with all of that said, Daniel, why don't you kick us off talking a bit about how did Utopia came to be? What's the concept behind this?
Right, yeah, so I wrote the story for Utopia, as Dante mentioned, and what I wanted to tell is a story about growth. It's a story focused on the characters, and for me the best way to approach that was by having three protagonists. Each of them is trying to search for a way to achieve their dreams. In this case, all of them are trying to get Utopia, a perfect society that they try to achieve. So, they go by different methods, they do different things because they grew in very different environments. The one constant that is true for all of them is that they were born in a period where war was happening, right? But how they interacted with said war is very different. So we have three of our protagonists. I will start off by Frederick Marcus, the one that you begin playing as. And this is a character that was far apart from the war. He was not directly involved with any of it, and he was not...
Sorry Daniel, I want to take the opportunity of this little interruption. We actually have this little fella in the game. You can find him in chapter 2 of the game even. No, actually it's chapter 1. You can find both of these dogs in a frame in chapter 1. So him being here is fine. It's part of the game, really. It's part of the experience. He's been here throughout the development journey. Our last two dogs were part of the journey as well, the beginning of the journey. They passed away recently, unfortunately, but this little fella is part of this development journey, so don't you worry, he will pop out at times. He's part of the team. Don't pay him any mind. If you do, just say how cute he is, because come on, he is.
Yeah, this was definitely planned. This was not something that happened by accident. Anyways, as I was saying, Frederick was not involved directly into the war because his father, Volker Marcus, protected him from it. He handled most of the things that were going on in the war and made sure his son was as far away as possible from it. Diabetes, our other protagonist in black over there in the left, is completely the opposite. His grandfather was the one kick-starting this war. He was the one initiating the conflict, and he wanted to make sure his grandson, in this case Diomedes, learned from the conflict, learned how to handle this war, and he took him to the battlefield even when he was very young, and this shaped Diomedes' personality.
How young are we talking?
Exactly. 4 or 5 years, he was already looking at the vestiges of the war that his grandfather was producing, so yeah, pretty young. He was starting his training as a warrior from that age, so he lived alongside war, he lived alongside death. It is a key characteristic of him because he is, in essence, a kind-hearted person. He wants to do the right thing for his family, especially for his little sister. But how he approaches this is really messed up. He normalized war, he normalized death, so even though he has good intentions for his empire, for his little sister, the way he does things is absolutely cruel and devastating for those who are not on his side, right? And lastly, we have Esquililani. This one is kind of in between for him. He's also trying to achieve this utopia, but he has a different starting point. He also comes from the same empire as Diomedes, so he's technically his ally, but the key characteristic is that the realm from which he hails is one that was not ravaged by war as much as the other part of the territory. So he has lived in conditions that are far better than what Diomedes has known, and he has achieved a level of harmony in his life and happiness that he's content with. So his starting point in the story is that of which he already achieved his dream, he's already living his utopia, and the war that is just getting started once again is threatening that peace, that happiness, and that utopia that he has already achieved. And not only for him, but for the entire world. So with him, we will explore this theme of how long can he ignore the suffering and pain of others if it means protecting his own people, his own family, his wife. So will he end up putting all of that he has achieved at risk to be able to protect others? And that's kind of the conflict we want to do with him.
Yeah, and that's very interesting because basically we, just to summarize this, we have three characters. One which is more on the righteous moral area around here, which is Frederick. He's just trying to do the right thing. He wants to achieve this ideal of, everybody can live in peace. We have Diomedes who considers this is not possible based on his experience, and is definitely on the moral area of something that you would see more in an antagonist rather than a protagonist. And lastly, we have Eskil, who is in a gray area of sorts, where, as you said, he's in between. He is not a bad person, but he has achieved happiness in his life. He does not want to risk that, but at the same time, the way of keeping it that he sees in front of him is helping Diomedes in the war, to make sure that his city is safe and his people are safe. And so he's in this gray area where, can I really do this? And the character will start asking that question to himself, and in consequence, you, the reader, the player, will have to live this experience with him and put yourselves in their shoes of all three characters and ask yourselves the same questions. If I were there, would I take the morally negative stance and further fuel this war, or will I stand to my beliefs and support the people that are suffering instead? It's something really interesting as a dynamic, and it's also something that is not very common for a visual novel in my experience, at least, because maybe we didn't mention it as early in the video, but our game is a visual novel. Usually visual novels are based around one single character, one single protagonist, and a lot of the visual novels out there explore different routes in game, but that mainly is focused around the other characters in the story rather than the protagonist. We have a single protagonist and we play through different routes that end up a lot of times with different romance options, a different heroine inside the game. However, here you are playing three different protagonists at different points of the game, making decisions that impact the game. You can achieve different endings, right?
Yeah.
So it's really a very different concept than most visual novels out there. So how did you come up with this idea of having, three protagonists, three decisions?
Okay, well, for me personally, I've always loved stories about story-driven stories, character-driven stories, so the most intriguing part for me in any story are the characters. So I knew I wanted to have a wide array of characters and a variety of options with them, but also the concept of utopia is very important in the sense that I think everybody has an image in their head of what a utopia should be, and that image is very different depending on who you ask. So I believe that by giving the player the option of playing three characters who have a very distinct point of view to create their utopia will allow them to think and start imagining their own version of that utopia. And that's really what I wanted to achieve with this game. I didn't want to give you just a single answer. I didn't want to give you my version of a Utopia. I wanted you to think what your Utopia would look like. And I think the best way to approach that was by having 3 characters instead of only 1. So that's the main reason.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more, really. So now that we've gotten the characters and the premise out of the way, why don't we talk a little bit about the gameplay or some of the decisions, the creative decisions that we've made throughout the journey of development here? Because as we've been talking about, having 3 protagonists is something somewhat unique in the industry, or in the genre rather. So how do we approach this from a game design perspective?
Yeah, that was a little bit challenging because we really did wanted to show through the art, through the music, how different these characters were. So the best way to do this for us was, number one, by adding a distinct color for each of them. So we have the golden for Frederick Marcus, we have the reddish orange for Diomedes Morgan, and the green for Esquililami. But I didn't only want to have those 3 colors as the only identifiable trait. I also went out of my way. If you playing the perspective of Frederick Marcus, you will know from the art, because the art will be a little bit more idealistic. The colors will be brighter. In general, you will see backgrounds that will be more beautiful than what you would see with Diomedes. Diomedes tends to have cold colors, the backgrounds are more desolate, so you really feel the isolation this character himself feels. And Esquililami is in an in-between exactly, because even though the backgrounds definitely won't be as bright, definitely won't be as beautiful, they will have a distinct warmth to them. And I also tried to have like more closed spaces when you were playing from his perspective, because I think that speaks to him as a character in the sense that he's very close to the ones he loves, and he kind of isolates the rest. So you play with his family, with his wife, and the rest is kind of in the back burner, I guess.
Yeah, and something that is really special, I know, to me, and I also know to you, is making unique UI designs, right? We had a lot of inspirations. One of our favorite games of all time is the Persona series. So something that they do absolutely well in the industry, I would say they're probably the best in the industry at doing menus being unique. It's really them, right? So we took inspiration. We can't say we are there, right? But I'm definitely proud of what we achieved, because as you were saying, we have unique UI elements for each of these protagonists. The text boxes, which is one of the main things in a visual novel, of course, are different for each of them, which really just helps immerse into the experience.
And not only that, I wanted to make sure that the text boxes told our players information without us actually telling you about it. So for example, when the narrator is speaking, you will see an hexagon type of text box. When a character is speaking, it will change to a more square text box, and it will change to a little bit more of a, I guess, circular or cloudy text box when using the thoughts of the character, when showing the thoughts of the character. So that helps also like immerse yourself in what is going on, coupled together with obviously other UI elements like darkening the character that is not participating in the conversation, highlighting the character that is actually talking or thinking, and all of this I think helps bring together the narration of the game.
Yeah, and of course all of these change in expressions, coloring, it helps immerse into the dialogue, that's for sure. But why don't we talk a little bit about the team behind that? Because yes, we are the two of us are the co-founders here, but and the ones talking to the camera at this moment. But who is behind this art? Who is behind all of these beautiful designs? We have what, 20 characters more?
24 characters, I believe, if I remember correctly, even maybe 22. But yes, we have Aiskel Paez, who is behind drawing every single one of the characters, every single one of the expressions they have, because that's something we are really proud. We made a lot of expressions for each character because I thought that was the best way to make the visual novel feel lively. So each character has a very unique set of expressions, and she's behind it all, and she's a fantastic artist. So we've worked together with her for years now, and it's always been a joy, honestly. And the background and most of the shading, lighting in the backgrounds as well is done by Jose Cuatle. He's also a great artist over here from Mexico, and he honestly surprises me every time with his lighting work, because there are times when I see a background when we are working on it, and I was like, I'm not sold on it, right? Like I think we need to change something. And he told me like, no, wait, let me show you how it looks with the lighting, with the shading, with everything put well together. And I went, okay, yeah, you were right. It doesn't need anything else. It looks great.
Yeah, and that's really a lot of the philosophy we've had in this development process. Not only with the artists, we'll talk a little bit about the music as well later, but a lot of our game philosophy really is driven by not only the passion of you, of course, who wrote this story, but also letting our people be involved and be passionate about the project and making their own suggestions, their own ideas, letting them be creative when doing this. Again, we'll talk about it more in a minute, but the music, we do this a lot. Like we spoke with the composers, we of course gave suggestions, gave ideas. We want the songs to show these emotions and all of this, and we have these references that we want something along the lines of this track, right? But at the end of the day, we always made it a point with both him and the artists of the game to, hey, just do what you feel, follow your gut. Absolutely. Right? And I think that's really helped us quite a lot. Yes, of course, we've had to do corrections every now and then, so that it aligns a little bit more with the vision of the game.
Absolutely.
Overall. But in most cases, really, even when it completely differed, either the art or the music, from what we originally wanted, we found out that it only helped add to the game, make it more deep, more meaningful. It felt really more accomplished.
Yeah, definitely. At the end of the day, this is a team effort, and not only from the production perspective, but also from the story. Because when I wrote the story, I was a little bit over jealous of it, I guess. Like I wanted to protect the vision that I had of this story, even to the point that at the beginning I didn't want the game to have options, like for the players to choose a dialogue decision, right? But we discussed this quite a bit.
We didn't discuss it. Honestly, we thought about it.
Yeah, kind of, a little bit.
Yeah.
But after thinking of strategies and thinking how we were going to be able to incorporate decisions, I think it worked for the best for what I wanted the story to tell. Because these decisions help immerse the player into thinking about their own utopia, which was my goal all along. And maybe not all of the decisions will feel very impactful to the game, but they definitely impact how you perceive the characters, how you understand this world, and some other decisions will give you bad endings or alternative endings, because some might argue they end up being better endings, but I'll let you figure that out. But yeah, I think everything from the writing to the creative decisions of the art improved upon me letting go of these restraints of it has to be exactly as I envisioned it, and allowing everybody involved to be creative and work with their best skills. We saw it with the art. I can talk about Ambrose, for example, one of the main antagonists of the game. He really was very... I had a vision of him being very Viking-like. He had to be long-haired, he had to be very big, barbarian, and all of this, but when working the design, the artist iScale was like, I think he would look better with shorter hair and a little bit more stylized hair. And I was a little bit hesitant about that because he's not someone to be styling his hair. He's more of a barbarian, right? But she gave me the draft of how he would look with that hair, and I was like, you know what, you're absolutely right. It does look better. The other way around, contrary to what I believed, didn't look menacing compared to the other version. So that happened also with the music. I think some of our favorite tracks in the music differed a lot from what we had envisioned originally, and we always told our composer Peter Reed Jones from Scarlet Moon, we always told him like, hey man, these are our suggestions, are our ideas, but we've told you everything we want this track to represent. You know music better than us, so go at it. If you want to change direction, do something else, as long as you're respecting the intention of the song, go at it. And he absolutely took our word for that and did very different tracks to what we imagined initially.
And funny enough, Ambrose's track was very different from what we originally wanted.
Yeah.
We just mentioned him on the art, and his hair ended up looking like one of my favorite characters in anime medium, which is Iskandar from Fate Zero.
Yeah, especially his beard.
Yeah, also the hair. It's pretty similar, but we have this creative difference with our team about it. Ended up going their way. I'm glad we did. And it also happened in the music. I don't know what happened with Ambrose. we changed directions with him in a sense. Like the essence is there, right?
Yeah.
The essence of the character that you wrote is definitely there. It just both the track and new design really helped drive that home.
Yeah, no, it enhanced it because the story changed along the way. Like, not the essence of what I was telling, but the little details improved as we worked together with the artist, with the composer, because there were scenes that I had wrote and I was very proud, I was happy with them, and then they gave us the track for that scene and we put it together in the game, and I was like, now the writing is not doing this injustice. Like, the music is amazing, the art is fantastic, and my dialogue is lacking. So I had to improve, I had to go at it again and write, edit that whole scene, and I think that always worked for the better. At the end of the day, all the team, we all were working under that assumption of let's hear each other out and improve what we do best.
Yeah, and I'm glad you bring that up because that is also something that I wanted to touch on today, which is very important as to why are we going into early access today. So now, as Daniel was saying, we've been hearing each other out in the team, improving wherever we can, as we get closer and closer to a finished product. And while we are very proud of what we have right now, we understand that this is our first game. And so the best possible thing we can do is hear you out. So really, us launching into early access, of course, is us asking for your support, hopefully you liking our story, but more than anything else, it's really asking you, please give us your feedback. What do you want to see improved as we move into version 1.0 of this game? What is something that maybe you didn't like all that much, or something really, I cannot drive this enough. Tell us what you really like so that we can bring more of that. Everything that you really loved about the game, about the art, about the music, not only will it help us make better decisions in the future, but it will also help the team feel proud of what they do. So all of your support, all of your reviews, feedback on this early access will serve to make a better finished product. And I can thank you enough to all of you for not only listening to this, but also playing our game.
Yeah, and writing off of that comment of the early access, of course, there are things that we won't always be able to change based on your comments, but there will be a lot of things that we can. While the story, the characters, and the tone is already pretty much set in stone, right? But there are dialogues, there are lines that can be improved, the localization. We've worked on the localization of English and Spanish by ourselves. We didn't hire external people to do that for us. So we know that there might be things that can be improved because we are not local to the English language, right? It's not our first language. Therefore, any suggestions you have, we will be sure to listen, and whenever we can fit it into the game, we will work on it. So at the end of the day, your voice, we assure you, will be heard, and we can't, as my brother said, we can't thank you enough for actually going out of your way and giving us your suggestions. So I guess the last thing I have to say is thank you for supporting Utopia Bird of the Heroes. Please, I hope you enjoy the game. I hope you have a great time with the characters, with the story, and with all of the work that the team has done. So have a great time.
Yeah. I'll say goodbye as well. Thank you very much once again. I'll also please ask to leave us any comments on this video, share it with anyone. What do you want to see from us next in terms of the game? What do you want us to talk about as we move into version 1.0? We are still in early access. Please, this is a forum good as any other for you to communicate with us. What do you want to see from us, the developers, as we move towards making this game even better?
And in that sense, don't forget to follow us on our socials. Don't forget to go into Discord. We will have a public Discord where we can all discuss about the game. You can go and do theories with other fans. And of course, report any feedback that you want directly to us, because we will be present in that Discord and we will participate. So please feel free to go in there and talk with us.